Did you know there was an ancient Egyptian pharaoh who decided to flip an entire civilization's religion upside down, only to have his legacy nearly erased from history? Meet Akhenaten, the revolutionary ruler who dared to defy tradition. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of ancient Egypt to uncover the story of Akhenaten, a pharaoh unlike any other. Known for his radical shift to worshipping only one god and his unique approach to art, Akhenaten's reign was a pivotal moment in Egyptian history. Let's journey back over 3,000 years to explore how this mysterious figure changed Egypt forever. Before Akhenaten's reign, Egypt was a land steeped in ancient traditions and rituals. The Egyptians worshipped a multitude of gods, with Amun-Ra, the mighty sun god, reigning supreme. Temples served as bustling hubs of religious life, where powerful priests held sway over spiritual and political matters. Egyptian art, known for its precise and consistent style, emphasized order and continuity, reflecting a society deeply rooted in its age-old customs and beliefs. This was the rich and structured world that Akhenaten inherited, poised for a dramatic transformation. Akhenaten, who was originally named Amenhotep IV, became the pharaoh of Egypt around 1353 BCE. Right from the start, he made a daring decision that would shake Egyptian society to its core. Instead of following the traditional worship of Amun-Ra, the sun god who had been central to Egyptian religion for centuries, Akhenaten decided to focus on a different aspect of the sun Aten, which was represented by a disk. Aten was not a new deity, but had previously been a minor aspect of the sun god, Ra. In traditional Egyptian religion, Aten was depicted as a sun disk with rays extending down, each ray ending in a tiny hand. These hands often held symbols of life, emphasizing the nurturing and life-giving power of the sun. Akhenaten elevated Aten to the position of the sole god, overshadowing all other deities in the Egyptian pantheon. To mark this monumental shift, Akhenaten changed his own name to mean effective for Aten, symbolizing his dedication to this new way of worship. This shift to Atenism was a radical change because it introduced a form of monotheism, the belief in just one god, which was completely new to the polytheistic Egyptian world. Akhenaten didn't just change the religion, he also made a huge change to the capital city. He built a new city called Akhenaten, which is known today as Amarna, specifically for the worship of Aten. The construction of this city was done quickly and with great enthusiasm. It was designed with open-air temples to allow sunlight in, unlike the dark enclosed sanctuaries of other gods. This city featured new architectural and artistic styles, showing Akhenaten and his family bathed in the rays of Aten. The art from this period portrayed the royal family in a more personal and lifelike manner, breaking away from the traditional, formal depictions. During Akhenaten's reign, Egyptian art changed significantly. Artists began portraying the royal family with elongated limbs and curved bodies, which was a big change from the rigid, formal poses of earlier Egyptian art. Akhenaten himself was often shown with a unique, almost androgynous appearance, neither distinctly male nor female, which has puzzled historians and sparked debates about why he chose to be depicted this way. This new style gave Egyptian art a sense of movement and life that had never been seen before. This new religious focus on Aten was a bold move that fundamentally transformed the religious landscape of ancient Egypt during Akhenaten's reign. Akhenaten's dramatic changes didn't come without a lot of pushback. One of the biggest sources of conflict was the powerful priests of Amun. These priests had long held great influence and wealth because they ran the temples dedicated to Amun-Ra, the sun god who was the centerpiece of traditional Egyptian religion. When Akhenaten introduced Aten as the new sole deity, he ordered the closure of Amun's temples and redirected the wealth and resources to the new temples of Aten. This left the priests of Amun without their former power and riches, causing significant unrest. But it wasn't just the priests who were unhappy. Ordinary Egyptians, who had been accustomed to worshipping a whole array of gods and goddesses, found Akhenaten's sudden shift to a single god confusing and unsettling. It was a massive change from what they had known all their lives, and many struggled to adjust to this new religious direction. Akhenaten's intense focus on promoting Aten and his new city, Akhenaten, meant that other important aspects of running the country were neglected. This lack of attention to political and economic matters led to problems. Without strong governance and management, Egypt faced instability and difficulties in trade and administration. This period of upheaval created significant challenges for the country, contributing to the overall turmoil of Akhenaten's reign. After Akhenaten passed away around 1336 BCE, Egypt quickly moved to reverse his dramatic reforms. His successor, Tutankhaten, who was a young pharaoh, soon realized the need to restore the old ways. He changed his name to Tutankhamun, which meant living image of Amun. signaling a return to the traditional worship of the gods and the reopening of the old temples that Akhenaten had closed. The city of Akhenaten was abandoned, and efforts were made to erase Akhenaten's name from history, branding him as a heretic. Despite these efforts, Akhenaten's legacy endured. His attempt to centralize religious worship around a single deity was a bold experiment that has fascinated historians and scholars. The artistic innovations of his reign left a lasting impact on Egyptian art, influencing subsequent generations. Today, Akhenaten's story serves as a testament to the complexities of religious and cultural transformation. The new pharaoh also abandoned Akhenaten, the city that Akhenaten had built in honor of Aten. The city was left behind, and there was a concerted effort to erase Akhenaten's name from history. He was labeled a heretic, which meant he was seen as someone who went against the accepted religious beliefs. Despite these efforts to erase him, Akhenaten's influence didn't disappear completely. His radical experiment in concentrating worship around one god, Aten, was one of the earliest attempts at monotheism and has intrigued historians ever since. His unique artistic style, which broke away from traditional Egyptian art, left a lasting mark. The way he depicted himself and his family in a more realistic and dynamic manner influenced future generations of Egyptian artists. Today, Akhenaten's story is a fascinating example of how a single ruler's bold ideas can create both conflict and lasting change. His reign highlights the complexities of religious and cultural transformation and continues to captivate and inspire scholars and enthusiasts around the world. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life of Akhenaten. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on Akhenaten. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Mysterious Anecdotes for more fascinating stories from ancient history.